Here are two identical HS4 systems. The one on the left is running version 4.2.17 and the one on the right is running 4.2.18. As you can see, it's the same devices. The difference though between these two versions is going to be in the event engine. And specifically, it has to do with a new feature we introduced called conditional actions. With conditional actions, you're able to apply conditions directly to actions, and that allows you to consolidate a lot of events and also to exercise a greater level of control within individual events. Now, if we take a look at the event listings for both systems, we'll see there's a lighting group, and then within the lighting group, we have events to control lights in the dining room, the foyer, and the porch. Now, in the older system, we require 6 different events. On the right-hand side, in the newer version, notice we only have 2 events. We don't need 6. We can accomplish the same functionality with a much smaller grouping of events. Well, here's how it works. In the older system, let's take a look at the first 2 events for motion sensed and motion not sensed in the dining room. When motion is sensed, that's the trigger. It's going to turn on a light switch in the dining room. And then when motion is no longer sensed, it's going to turn off that same light. We can accomplish the same thing now in 4.2.18 with a single event, and the single event is going to be structured a little differently. Instead of the trigger being a specific value of the motion sensor, we now can just simply say that the motion sensor value has changed. And then beneath that, we have 2 different action groups. The first action group evaluates that value, determines that it's been set to motion, and turns on the light in the dining room. The second action group sees that it detects no motion and then turns off that light. So one event accomplishing the same thing as the 2 events in the previous version. Let's take a look also at the 4 events at the bottom of the list here in the older version. These are all events that turn lights on or off in the foyer and on the porch at different times of the day. And again, they're all using very specific triggers, right? So let's take a look at the first event here. This is an event that triggers at midnight, and it's designed to turn the foyer light off. Then underneath that, we have another event that triggers at 6 p.m. and turns the foyer light on. For the porch light, we have the same sort of thing. At sunrise, it's going to turn the porch light off. And then at sunset, it's going to turn the porch light on. Now we can accomplish that in the newer version of the program with 1 event. Notice that our trigger is substantially different though. The trigger is not specifically a certain time of the day, but rather a trigger that simply fires this event once per minute. So every minute, it's going to take a look and determine whether or not it's sunset, 6 p.m., 12 a.m., midnight, or sunrise. And depending on what time of day it is, it's either going to do nothing at all, or if it hits one of these particular conditions, it's going to turn the appropriate light on or off. So once again, it works very similarly to the other events. However, we are changing the trigger and we're using the conditional actions, the actual conditions that are tied to the actions in order to do all the heavy lifting. That's how it works.